Good morning, boys and girls. So this is the cutest little trio of fish. We've got 3 different sizes. We're going to start with the smallest little fish right here, right in the middle from top to bottom. Notice the size of my paper. What I did was I folded a piece of photocopy paper off my printer in half. If you have longer paper, it would be great because you could even add more than 3 fish. You could add a lot of fish. So my first fish is pretty small. It's a curve up and a curve down. Make sure when you put your fingers down, it's at least 2 fingers wide. Okay, go ahead and use a pencil so you can erase if you make a mistake, but there isn't any erasing in this lesson. Then we're going to have a long line going up and a shorter line going down. And these are coming right off the tail for the tail fin. So come in just a little bit here and make yourself a little dot because that's where you want to go. So you're going to connect this one and this one. Isn't that a cool tail? Now you could just do a triangle if you wanted to. For the dorsal fin, we're going to angle back and then we're going to curve inward like that. And you could do that line straight if you wanted. Then underneath he has 2 fins. He has an anal fin and a pelvic fin. And then on the side he has a pectoral fin. And you want to leave that open. So you go angle, angle. See how I left it open? Because that's where it attaches. And then all you need to do here is make a straight line or a curve, depending on what you want your fish fin to look like. They can all be a little different than mine. Well, this is my most worried fish. So he's going to have a sweet eye here, but he's looking back at who's about to get him. So his pupil is in the back because he's very worried. In fact, I'm going to give him a couple little worried lines like this. I know they're out in the air, but it gives it kind of a cartoon look. And then look at his poor little mouth. See how it's a frown? It's because he's got a very worried look. Who knows what's coming behind him? I think he knows. The next fish has to be bigger because we want it to look like it's going to eat this one. So we're going to open up the mouth with an angle up and an angle down. And when you look at it, you want to make sure that the body would fit in that mouth. It would, okay? You don't have to worry about the tail, but the body should look like it's going to fit in. Now this is the middle of the fish. So we're going to come back and go to about almost the middle of the page. Think of where the middle of the page is, almost to the middle, and make another dot. Notice how I come straight back, make another dot. And I want to connect from here to here and from here to here. So I'm going to curve up and I'm going to curve down. So that's his open mouth. My next fish needs to look a little bit mean. So we're going to give it an eyeball right in the front, like this, and a little bit of an angry eyebrow. Do you see how he looks a little bit mean? We are going to add fish lips to this one. So when you go to the end of the mouth, you curve up and go back to the corner. Remember to curve up and then go back. And there's our cute little fish lips. Just want to remind you that if you're getting behind, always pause, okay, to catch up. We want to go ahead and put on his tail fin, which is also called a caudal fin. It goes back here, but we're going to do it kind of fancy. If you don't want to, you could do this one or just a triangle too. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a big curve first. See how that has that nice big curve? Almost like a letter C. Now we're going to connect from here to here with curves in. And most people want to curve out, but I want you to concentrate that you curve in. Watch the difference. Curve in, curve in, curve in, curve in, curve in. Now, if you have more curves than me or less curves than me, it doesn't really matter. But wherever you have a point, you're going to go back to here. So watch. Point to the tail, point to the tail, point to the tail, point to the tail. So if you have more curves, you'll just have more lines. If you have less curves, you'll have less lines. Or you could go ahead and make a tail like that one if you wanted. Okay? The next one, we're going to angle long line and short line. So long angle back short angle back. We're going to do the same thing. Watch. Curve in, curve in, curve in, curve in. A lot of times people curve out, so you got to really practice that and think about it. Does it curve towards the fish or away? You want to go towards the fish. Point, point, point. Same kind of detail. When we come back to the two lower fins, the anal fin and the pelvic fin, it's just little triangles. But don't forget to leave it open where it attaches here. So I'm going to go long line, check that out, shorter line, leaving it open, and then I'm going to add a couple curves here. 1, 2, 3. Now at each one, I'm going to add a point, point. Okay? Because we're making up these fish, they're not actual real fish that we're trying to copy. We're just copying the parts of fish. You can always change it. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. The next thing is our meanest fish, okay? We want him to be the biggest. He has to fit on this half of the page. So we're going to start with his face really close to this tail. Angle up, and this one's different. Instead of a straight line, I want you to make a curve. Curve. You'll see why in a minute. It makes him really cute. Then we have to get back, straight back, but we got to leave room for his tail. So if you go too far, you won't have a tail. So go ahead and come back, making sure you have room for a tail, okay? Then I'm going to go from this dot and curve all the way to his mouth and curve all the way to his mouth. What we're giving him is a mouth that looks like he's going to kind of scoop him up. We're also going to give him teeth. You can put any sort of triangle teeth on, short ones, tall ones, or various ones. But check out Mrs. Johnson's. Long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. That's kind of a fun way. Or you could just make them all the same, or maybe a little bit curved. Check out how these look a little bit curved. They could be straight, they could be curved. You can kind of have fun with them. They could be longer. They do look scarier if they're longer. Then we want to make him look the absolute meanest. So we're going to give him an eyeball, but a little beady eye, not as big. See how that one's bigger? And this line here is going to angle back and almost have a V at the end. See? It's a little wider. It's going to come down, and you're going to see how mean that guy looks. Doesn't he look meaner? It's not just a line, it's more like a skinny triangle. Very scary looking. Let's go back to his tail. So we're going to angle up and angle down. Then we remember how we draw a little line dot right here, so remember to go back to it. So one here. Now this one's going to be a little bit different, kind of like a shark. So down and over a little bit, kind of like an L, down and over, and then go right back to the point. Kind of a cool tail. Our next one will angle back, a little tiny curve at the end, and then angle in, a lot like a shark. Okay? And then we're going to do our lower fins that look a lot like a shark. This is your anal fin, pectoral fin, and now, pelvic fin, and now we need our pectoral fin. And this one's going to be a lot different. So we're going to do, right where it attaches, 2 dots right here on the side. See how I have 2 dots? Okay, now curve, okay? And we do a little curve around, just a little curve around, and we're going to end at that dot. Curve. See how that looks like it attaches on? He looks like he's going to eat those fish. Now you can add other things. If you did the crab lesson, you saw like putting some bubbles in. You saw maybe putting some seaweed in. Maybe a sand line like this. Yeah, you might have decided you wanted to add some other little fish. I thought it might be fun if you added a fish over here. If you check out this fish, look at that shocked eye. Do you see that crazy shocked eye? It's a circle with a dot in the middle and 2 dots. And he's over here and he's opening his mouth. Check him out. I just thought it might be fun. He is like going, oh my goodness, what's going to happen over there? He is worried. Look at him, a little shocked eye. Ah! I might give him little teeth. Maybe he thinks he might go have a little bite out of that guy. I don't know how brave he is. But you can add anything you want. Here's another picture sample right here. You can see how I did things just a little bit differently. And here's this one. Okay, so you can have some fun with this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to color it or paint it, and have a good day. I'll see you at the next one.